Okay, here's something to think about. What if I told you the deadliest predator on Earth weighs less than a grain of sand?
That definitely grabs your attention.
Right, and it's an animal so sophisticated, its design has actually forced modern scientists to try and, like, reverse engineer it. It sounds completely backwards, doesn't it?
It really does, but it's astonishingly true. This tiny creature, it's considered so complex that, its very existence has spurred incredible scientific inquiry and for some really profound reflection.
And here's where it gets really interesting for our deep dive today. More than 1,400 years ago, this ancient text, the Quran, it daringly called out this creature by name.
By name, yeah.
Implicitly challenging skeptics, study its secrets. It was a pretty bold invitation to look closely at something seemingly, well, insignificant.
Which brings us right to our central question for this deep dive. Why does this minute creature, the mosquito, hold the key to both these profound insights into natural design and, at the same time, global pandemics? What's truly fascinating and what we'll explore is how modern science is now revealing details that seem to really resonate, with that ancient wisdom.
Absolutely. So today, we're going to embark on this deep dive. We'll unpack the scientific wonders of the mosquito, and then we'll explore the historical and spiritual significance attributed to it within the source material you've shared. Get ready for some genuine aha moments, I think.
Definitely.
Okay, let's unpack this. Our material kicks off with a really fascinating challenge from the Quran itself. It says, Allah does not shy from the parable of a mosquito or what is smaller. Why? Why, out of all creatures, would a profound ancient text highlight something as seemingly insignificant, or maybe even just irritating, like an insect, as a sign or a metaphor?
That's a really powerful question. And the material suggests this choice is precisely because of the mosquito's complexity. It's presented as a creature almost designed to humble human arrogance. And remarkably, modern science is confirming very specific details that, seem to have been hinted at centuries ago.
That's intriguing. Does the text or the material around it elaborate on any specific characteristic, something modern science has since, validated with such precision?
It does, actually, yeah. The material points out a very subtle yet profound detail. Only female mosquitoes bite.
Right, I've heard that.
And the Arabic word used for mosquito, ba'uda, in the original text, it's actually in the feminine grammatical form.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Wait.
Subtly implying this very fact. Males, as we now know for sure, they lack those needle-like proboscises, the long, piercing mouthparts they use. So this isn't just some linguistic quirk. It's presented as a precise biological detail. Science only really confirmed relatively recently, aligning perfectly with the ancient text's subtle implication. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It really, really does. And this idea of subtle implications, it seems to extend further into what the ancient text describes as microscopic miracles.
Right.
Areas where modern science is truly, like you said, catching up. The material highlights an astonishing point about parasites. On parasites. How does that connect to the mention of what is smaller than a mosquito?
Okay, so this is where it gets even more fascinating, the convergence here. In 1922, so quite a bit later, entomologists discovered these tiny microflies, specifically called Corothrella.
Corothrella. Never heard of them.
Right, and they actually suck blood from female mosquitoes.
Get out, seriously.
Seriously. This means the mosquito itself, this creature that feeds on us, has its own parasite, a creature even smaller than it, depending on it for sustenance.
Wow.
So the argument presented is that 1,400 years before electron microscopes, this ancient text was hinting at creatures existing on the mosquito that were even smaller. It's that what is smaller part.
That level of sort of nested complexity is incredible. And the precision, okay, it doesn't stop there, does it? The material also talks about the mosquito's vision. Calls it 360-degree vision warfare.
Chuckles slightly. Yeah, that's a good description.
Why are they so incredibly hard to swat? Really?
Well, this raises that important question about how sophisticated even the smallest creatures can be, right? Each mosquito eye, get this, actually has about 2,400 lenses.
2,400. In one eye.
In each eye, allowing it to detect movement at a staggering 149-degree angle per eye, effectively giving it near panoramic vision.
Okay, that explains a lot.
Their vision, as the material notes, it operates like military-grade sensors, essentially, demonstrating what it calls infinite divine engineering, even in what we might just dismiss as a pest.
No wonder they're so elusive. My attempts always feel like a completely losing battle.
You and me both.
And then there's the third secret the material discusses. How they manage to target you specifically. Why do they bite you but maybe ignore someone else sitting right next to you?
Yes. What's truly fascinating here is the science behind their targeting, which the material discusses. According to researchers like Meg Younger at Boston University mentioned in the source,
Okay.
your skin bacteria emit a unique chemical fingerprint. It's incredible. Apparently something like 85% of their attraction is based on your specific body odor.
My body odor. Great.
Well, yeah, which is shaped by your unique microbiome, that distinct community of bacteria living on your skin. They're not just biting randomly. They're, as the material puts it, kind of testing the blood like connoisseurs, seeking out specific scents.
So they're like tiny airborne detectives with a custom-built GPS just for my unique scent profile. I'm starting to feel personally targeted now.
Chuckles. It kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
Okay, so beyond their just astonishing biology, this ancient text, or the traditions around it, also delves into the mosquito's surprising historical significance, connecting it even to the downfall of ancient tyrants.
Okay.
This really takes a turn with the story of Nimrod.
Indeed. The material recounts this tale, this tradition, of Nimrod, an ancient tyrant king who in the lore actually claimed godhood. Immense arrogance.
Right.
And the divine punishment for this overwhelming arrogance, as the tradition holds it, was truly profound in its smallness. A single mosquito entered his brain, apparently via his nose.
Wow. And the Hadith accounts, these are the prophetic traditions that expand on the Quran. They describe his soldiers actually smashing his skull to try and stop the agony.
Yeah, a brutal, agonizing death caused by, as the material frames it, creation's smallest soldier.
That's potent imagery.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? And the material connects this ancient account to a very real modern-day truth. Today, mosquitoes kill over 1 million humans every single year through diseases like malaria, dengue, Zika.
1 million people.
1 million.
Yeah.
The lesson, presented in both the ancient narrative and our modern reality, seems to be that arrogance can be a profound vulnerability, and even the smallest of creations can be an incredibly powerful force.
That's a really powerful connection. From an ancient tale of a single king to a current ongoing global health crisis affecting millions. So if these creatures are such potent forces, both symbolically and literally, what guidance does this ancient wisdom provide for, engaging with the world, especially with something potentially so deadly?
And this brings us to a really beautiful prophetic teaching that's mentioned in the material. I seek refuge in Allah's perfect words from the evil of what he created. It's presented as a profound recognition that signs, these ayats, aren't just found in, grand mountains or vast oceans or sacred places, but as the material states quite directly, they're in mosquitoes.
Right there, in the everyday, even the annoying.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the intricate design, the power, the potential danger too, even in the seemingly mundane or irritating parts of creation.
So the core takeaway here, wrapping this part up, seems to be that the very existence of these tiny creatures in all their complexity and their impact is, well, it's screaming something profound at us. It's a call to look beyond the obvious, maybe beyond our own sense of importance.
I think that's it exactly. It truly emphasizes the idea that the mosquito's existence, as we've explored in this deep dive, really compels a reflection on humility, on the sheer vastness of design in the universe. The material asserts that its very existence basically says, submit to the designer.
Acknowledge something greater.
Precisely. A call to acknowledge the wisdom and the power behind all of creation, even, or maybe especially, in the smallest of beings.
What an incredible journey we've just taken. Seriously, from a 2-millimeter insect's microscopic biology all the way to its profound historical and spiritual significance. This tiny creature, it really does serve as a powerful sign, as the material suggests.
It really does.
And we've seen how modern scientific findings, the discovery of those microflies on mosquitoes, their incredibly sophisticated vision, that targeted blood seeking we talked about, how they align in really surprising ways with these ancient mentions from 1,400 years ago.
It truly reinforces that idea, doesn't it? That there's always more to learn, and that knowledge, whether it's ancient wisdom or modern science, can converge in the most unexpected places. The mosquito's existence, as we've discussed, it really does compel a deep reflection on our place in the world.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? If a creature this small can unravel human arrogance, can baffle scientists with its intricate design, What does that really say about our own place in the grand scheme of things?
Hmm.
What else might we be overlooking, maybe dismissing as insignificant, that actually holds profound truths? Makes you wonder.